Pitch Follies, mistakes that can cost you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa. I'm with the IdeaPros marketing team, and today we're talking about pitch follies. As you know, we've been talking about the whole process of getting funds for your business, and today we're going to talk about pitch follies and things that I personally have seen, and I've also been polling a bunch of people who've done presentations like the investor presentations or big speaking engagements. So this goes beyond just pitching to investors. This is actually, it's the whole idea of presenting it to your customers, to investors, to your shareholders, whoever you might need to be presenting to. So I am going to dive in. Hey, Clarice, good to have you. If you guys can let me know where you're watching from, I'm super curious. I know we have people over on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and we actually are also going live over in Instagram soon. So that's exciting. Hey, Grant, good to have you. Sarah, good to have you. Today, we are talking about pitch follies. I know Sarah has been doing presenting, and so has Martin over at Grunt. And I've put together my best advice in my years of being a facilitator and helping people to present. Obviously, you guys see us do it a lot on live streams. These are the best tips that I know of to help you to be more prepared and to do all the things that you want to do in your presentation. So the ways that you might make mistakes on your pitch would be, right, pitch follies, what people do. Number one, they lack a backup plan. And what I mean by this is that they have their presentation on their computer. And let's say they're coming into a place. You don't know if you're presenting on a shared screen. You don't know if you're presenting, showing your computer to somebody. You don't know any of the situation of the way that you're going to present typically. So most people, when they come into these environments, you have to think about all the different ways that you might have to get a presentation to somebody. You might have to email it. You might have to send it in a PDF because they don't have the program that you have. They don't have PowerPoint. They don't have Google Slides. You don't have internet connection. Whatever it may be, you want to have a backup plan. Have a flash drive that you have your presentation on that's clean and clear so you can leave it if you have to. I highly recommend that. Not a lot of people want the flash drives. In fact, for a lot of banking, they don't even let you bring a flash drive. But let's just say you give it to somebody. You don't want your critical files to also be on that, or you forget it, right? So be prepared. Make sure that you have your files in as many different formats that downloaded to your computer as well. If you don't have internet connection, you have to still be able to do this presentation. So I would recommend downloading it as a PDF. Email it to someone else just in case. It's always good to have, if you have two people going with you, that both of you have that. And know the difference between all these different types of presentations. If it's a PowerPoint presentation or if it's Google Slides, you just need to understand what type of file it is and send it in the presentation format as well as your PDF. But backup plans, I actually also put it as a file that I can access behind a drive. So I could share a drive if I have to. If I can't do any of the other things, I can do that from my phone. So that is very helpful. But that also means that you don't understand the AV technology that you're going to have. So when you bring your computer, are you going to be able to touch your computer? Are you going to be where it is close to you? Will it look good if you're right up next to your computer trying to do your PowerPoint as you're doing your presentation? So I have a little remote. It's like a remote. Looks like a TV remote, but it's specific for changing slides. It's a Bluetooth. It also has a laser pointer. So I actually put that in my car in case I'm going somewhere and I need to present. I always have it. I have backup batteries. So have a backup plan for your computer. Bring your charger. Bring everything, all the different devices that you may need, your mouse, because if you don't have your laser pointer, at least you can use a mouse. And I've sat there and done it before like that. So bring all the things you can. Also your connectors. So if you have, I won't unplug it, but I have an adapter that I have to use for a Mac because I can't use typical USB drives. They have the USB, whatever thing. So bring any adapters that you need, bring everything, bring the kitchen sink for that matter, just in case. So you're ready. I'm just gonna go over and check. Oh yeah, hey, okay, perfect. So number 2 is boring your audience. So one of the big mistakes, pitch follies that I have, which Fred talks about all the time, is boring your audience. If you're putting them to sleep, they're not going to be able to see anything that you are presenting. So we talk about it in the Pitchcraft event a lot. Like, how do you make it engaging? How do you keep people's interest? How do you get the message across in such a short, succinct way that it's not a huge storytelling, adventure? It's very succinct. It doesn't feel like you're torturing them and making them listen to hours of, well, hopefully not hours. You're not making them listen to a bunch of data. You're really clear and concise and specific. So do not bore your audience. The other mistake I see people make, and this is me watching people who present, they oversell themselves. They're talking too much. That's like pretty much, this could have been talking too much. If you don't want this to be blabbing or going down rabbit holes or explaining too much detail. You don't want to be too deep in the weeds. So don't oversell yourself, because it comes across as being very that you're not confident because you're overselling. Like, they may be trying to ask a question and you continue to talk, right? So give some nice pauses, some dramatic pauses, as Jeremy in our sales, one of our business advisors, not a business advisor. He is I forget, but we titled him because he's so good at this. But he is an Idea Pro, basically. But he was saying that, people tend to, like, they don't leave enough dramatic pauses for people to actually, like, have a moment to kind of consume the data or to absorb the data. So overselling, I'm not saying that you can't talk, because you have to. They don't usually talk, right? It's not a dialogue per se, but just don't overdo it. Number 4 is not knowing your SWOT. And the reason why I say this, your, strengths, weaknesses, the reason why I say this, and it's more for the W, the weaknesses, and I've had lots of people, in fact, it was on another show, a live show, where they were talking about this specific thing, and that's that you need to be prepared and understand what objections people might have, and where you are already weak. So yes, you have weaknesses, where they are. It's not that you're going to point them out, but it prevents what I call deer in the headlight look, because you've thought through what weaknesses somebody else might point out, and you have extra slides. And again, don't give that deck to your potential investors, but you have potential weakness slides that say, yes, I understand that we're new in this area. We don't have sales right now, but we have da 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 da. And I wouldn't say but, I would say and, or something like that, because I know that negates the first statement. But I think that you're really looking to have that already thought out. And I had somebody tell me once that when you think through scenarios, it's a best case, worst case scenario, right? So you already have thought through and practiced how you deal with a problem. When the time comes that is brought up, you have a good answer. You have a good, well thought out, strategic answer, instead of the deer in the headlight look, where you're like, that we don't want that as much as possible for investors, because that does it decredits us. It takes away some of our credit and our credibility, I should say. And so think on your SWOT, know what those are. And if you've got those slides, you don't have to show them. They could be hidden at the end, and you just go to that slide when you need it, but you have practiced an answer. And that's number 5, which is not practicing enough. And I'm going to add on to the end of that, not practicing enough in front of people. so that you know what it's like to do it. Once you have a person in front of you, it's a totally different thing than doing it in front of a camera like I am now. When I have to actually present in front of people, it's a lot more stressful. So practice in front of people. If that means family members, I mean, it has to be someone maybe you're not super comfortable in front of, because that is a different dynamic in the room. It gives you a different feeling inside. It's a different energy that is going to come into play, and you need to, be ready and be comfortable with it. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. And Jeremy was saying on one of our sessions that, you just want to get through the nose. And Fred said it too. You want to you don't want to waste your time. You want to get through those no's so that you can get to the answer, the yeses. But that means practicing, and it may mean practicing in front of real people and doing your practice pitch. It may mean having some no's from investors, and that's just part of it. We had 2 partners that they were raising funds to become partners, IdeaPros partners, and they raised a lot of money from family and friends after learning how to go about this and really just saying, okay, let's go do it. Let's start talking to family and friends. And they raised, I want to say like 100,000. I don't remember what the exact number is. Bless them for being so driven that they went out and did this, but they thought of it as practicing, like, let's experiment, let's just do this. And that ended up being actual funds because people said yes. And they didn't really, I don't know if they fully expected it to be like that, but that's, if you put your mind to it and you just start practicing. And, if a lot of people say it's going to come off like a robot if I practice it. And I don't think that that's the case. It's actually muscle memory. So you're actually getting a muscle memory of how to say something and the order, even if it's nothing else other than, hey, on this slide, your brain is going to see that slide and know I have to cover XYZ. And if you cover XYZ, then you're good. Then you're putting that into your brain every time you see that slide, every time you say it, it's muscle memory. And so we just want to get it to where it's muscle memory. And the nerves are going to make you so much more stressed that you're not going to remember easily unless it's muscle memory. So that's my 5. I'm going to go over to the comments and check out what you all are saying. I have one more bonus one. Well, it's kind of like a combo bonus one. Let's see. Do they all, okay, that's a great question. Do all the IdeaPros members get advice and get the advice to use LivePlan? I used LivePlan when we first started our van business on Kauai. And I will tell you that it made a huge difference in putting together all my information I was getting funding through a bank, but it still was super helpful. It helped us wrap our minds around everything, including the forecasting. So I would say, yes. I mean, we highly recommend LivePlan. We do. And we have a great deal for our partners. So yes. But, it really depends on where you're at in the process and if you're ready for that or not. But I recommend it. I used it. I love it. So I think it's a good idea. Let's see what other comments you guys have. Practice makes perfect. Absolutely. Keep doing it over and over and over. Yes, those are beautiful. And Sage, I'm curious. So Sean Reed over at Sage, like, how many have you pitched to anyone yet? I love that. So Sage said, ask your customers what they want, like what color or what's missing. Yes, absolutely. Well, getting feedback from your audience and understanding, those are the things that may be the weaknesses that come up later, right? So what is it that your own 1-star reviews, but you're also looking at other people's 1-star reviews to kind of compare yourself when you're doing your pitch. You're talking about, here's my competitors in the space. And out of all these, these are the things that they're not doing. And that's what we are doing. Thank you. I appreciate it, Sage. You're so sweet. Well, I have a couple more things for you. We'll just put it that way. We have one more to go. And this one is not being prepared. And I'm going to go through a couple things that I have had people say that they did that really possibly caused the whole thing to go south and nosedive. So for sure, extra batteries. I've had someone that said that their laptop died in the middle of it. So they didn't have their charger. They didn't have anything. So, right, extra batteries for whatever devices you have. So if you are using a mouse or whatnot, but their computer died. How tragic would that be? So charge your devices before you go, just in case, if you're the one who has to present. Like, these are just, little things that you need to think about. I also had someone say that they were in the middle of it and it started to flicker, and they were getting some connection, and then the internet went off. They couldn't do it because they didn't have their files up on the internet. Then they had no access. So they were stuck in the mud, like literally could not continue because they had not practiced enough. So there wasn't that is it though. She said, if your internet connection dies, like, have a PDF version of it. Why not? Why wouldn't you take a PDF version of your main slides so that you could still finish and hold it up, right? So that was a big one that I thought was very smart. PDF version, or not PDF, but a printed physical version of your pitch, and that you could even leave it. Like, how many people actually leave, yes, there's trees that we're printing, but maybe it's a really great looking presentation. Maybe they throw it away, but that's okay. You're going to stand out because you actually took the initiative, right? But that was a big one. Print it. So just in case, even for you, for practicing purposes, you're in somewhere where you can't open your computer and you can start practicing. So highly recommend that. And then I think the last one is to smile. So when people don't smile and actually connect, right? A smile is it changes the way that people see you. And I'm not saying be cheesy or laugh like me because you're nervous, which is exactly what I would do if I was in a pitch. I would definitely laugh. But I'm saying, like, make sure that you connect, eye contact, smile, and project, and go slower than you think. We feel like we're hurrying it. I should say, when we are doing it, we feel like we're going slow enough. And sometimes we slur words, or we're nervous and our energy just gets going, and so does our words and our sentences. So when you slow down, it's actually allowing people the time that they need to be able to consume the data. So right now I'm substantially slowing down so that I can be more articulated and I can get the point across. You can see that difference between me talking right now and being consciously slow to the way that I was in the beginning of the show, which is more my natural talking. I'm going a lot faster. It's going to be harder for you to follow the context, especially if it's new to you. So I recommend slowing down, not rushing the process. Yes, you want to get them all the information, but read the room, understand how people are doing. Are you boring them? So again, let's go back over them. Make sure that you have a backup plan. Lack of a backup plan is a big folly. Boring your audience, overselling, not knowing your SWOT or your weaknesses so that you can address it and not have a deer in the headlights, not practicing enough, and of course, not being prepared. If you are taking all of these into consideration when you're going off to present to investors, I think you're going to have a really good experience, but you should practice. With our team, we have the Pitchcraft event, which is pitch.ideapros.com. I love it. Every single time I go, I learn something new. I don't think that Fred does it the same way twice, ever. But I'm going to put it in the chat for you. That is pitch.ideapros.com, and I'll put it up on a banner as well. But the best part about this is that you get to pitch to other people. And let me just give you an idea what this looks like so that you're not stressing. But the next one is May 16th. We do them right now. We have 2 a month, but I wouldn't say wait because it may or may not be there anymore. It depends. So do it now and don't wait. But what we do, we come in, we learn about pitching, and there's 2 major things that you're not going to see in any other pitching things out there, because these are very unique to what Fred's learned in the last 40 years of pitching and millions of dollars that he's raised, or however much that is, right? I need to get that exact number. But in his pitching experience, and specifically taking our partners out to Palo Alto and having them pitch to VCs, he has learned 2 big things that you're not going to see anywhere else, and I'm not going to tell you what they are. Unless you come, you'll find out. But there's 2 really big things that you can change, 2 things that are going to make a huge difference in how you pitch. So you'll get to learn those, and then he goes through and teaches you those. You practice them, and you actually do your pitch in small groups. So it's not anything you're not, you don't have to have everything perfect. You don't have to have slides. You're not going to present or show your screen that way. There's 2 very specific things that we're going to work on, and you're going to walk away understanding those 2 and how to make your presentation more impactful. And then we're going to talk about the big 8. And then you're going to, possibly be able to pitch for Fred, and he repitches it back to you so you can see how he would do it, how he would make it succinct and motivating and impactful. So I highly recommend that you all come. I'd love to see you there. Again, it's May 16th is our next one, and it's just a great thing to do. And you can come back and practice again and again and again if you want, and come and hang out with us, because this is just an awesome group. We don't make them too big, so we do limit the number of people who can get in, because we do breakout rooms. We do want to make sure that you're getting one-on-one kind of attention as a group. It's one on not too many, we'll say. One on not too many. And if you have attended the Pitchcraft and you have anything that you want to share about it, feel free. I know we had some people. I know that Martin's been to our Pitchcraft before too, but I think you will get a lot from it. Thank you so much, Sage. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go. Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers, even fur baby moms. I'm a fur baby mom, and it's very hard for me when there's Mother's Day, because I wish I was a mom. But to all of you who are moms, thank you for all you do. We know how much you sacrifice all the time: sleep, sanity, food. Rest. I guess there's everything, right? So thank you for being moms. And if you're a mom and you're an entrepreneur, like, double kudos to you, because it is hard to be an entrepreneur. I cannot even imagine. I know that Kai, my business partner, she has 3 kids, and it's amazing how hard it is to get anything accomplished when you have 3 kids around, but let alone run a business. It's just amazing. So thank you, moms. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We'll see you guys all next week. Sage, I just wanted to put up your link, because I haven't put it up in a long time. So I think I saw it. Oh yeah. So if you guys want to go see and experience, Sage Scheduler is going to be an amazing software. I can't wait for it to come out, because I don't have enough time in my day, and I want a solution like this tomorrow, yesterday. But you should check it out. They have a lot of followers over on Instagram, and he's actually running his own marketing company now, which is even cooler. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Miss Clarice, Dr. Clarice. Well, hopefully I can. Who knows? You just never know, right? Well, thank you. I'll see you all next week. Have a great week. Bye, everyone.